Hi students, I am Alok Kumar Jain, lecturer mathematics at Acharya Tulsi Sarvodaya Bal Vidyalaya, Chhatarpur, New Delhi. Hope all of you are fine and enjoying study at home. I am teaching from home and all of you are studying at home. In my previous video on integration, I discussed with you the meaning of integration and some simple formulae on integration. I explained you that in integration we have to find the functions whose derivatives are already given to us. For example, integration of cos x dx, it means we are to find the function whose derivative is cos x dx. And if you think about it, you consult your list on differentiation, you will find that cos x dx is derivative of sin x. So integration of cos x dx is equal to sin x plus c, where c is called constant of integration, as integration of a function is not unique. C may have any arbitrary value. Now we are moving to next level of integration. Integration by substitution. It will be used in the functions where the function is not a standard one. So we will be using integration by substitution. So there are three cases where integration using substitution can be used. I am calling them as three important results or three theorems. Theorem number 1 is integration of fx whole power n into f dash x dx is equal to fx whole power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c, provided n is not minus 1. So keep it in mind, this formula is applicable only if n is not minus 1. So this formula messages us that in case we are to integrate a function where a function has n power or any other number excepting minus 1 into you have derivative of that function, then the answer will be that function raised to its power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c. We can easily prove it also. So I am taking left hand side. It is integration of fx whole power n into f dash x dx. So I will be using the technique of substitution. Let fx is equal to t. Just differentiate both sides. You will get f dash x dx is equal to dt, because derivative of fx is f dash x dx and that of t is dt. Now feed it here. Fx is t, so fx will be replaced by t. So it becomes t raised power n, and f dash x dx is dt, so t raised power n into dt. Now the formula applicable is integration of x raised to its power n dx. That is x raised power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So integration of t raised power n dt should be t raised power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Now feed back the value of t. T was fx. So it will become fx whole power n plus 1 upon n plus 1 plus c, and that is the right hand side. So in this way we have proved this formula. You must keep this formula in your mind, and it may be used quite frequently, and it will make your integration quite simpler. Moving to next formula. Integration of f dash x upon fx dx. It is log of fx plus c. This integration of f dash x upon fx dx is equivalent to fx whole power minus 1 into f dash x dx. But in that case, previous formula is not applicable. Previous formula is applicable only if n is not minus 1, and by chance in this formula n is minus 1. So fx whole power minus 1 into f dash x dx has been written as f dash x dx upon fx. So its answer is log of fx plus c. So it is applicable in those questions where in denominator you have a function and in numerator you have its derivative. So derivative upon function, its integration is log of denominator plus c. It can be proved in a similar manner, quite simple. Consider left hand side. It is f dash x upon fx dx. Let fx is equal to t. Differentiate both sides. F dash x dx is equal to dt. So this f dash x dx is dt. upon fx is t. So it is equivalent to 1 by t into dt. So just like integration of 1 by x dx, and you know very well that integration of 1 by x dx is log x. So integration of 1 by t dt will be log t plus c. And who was t? T was fx. So it becomes log of fx plus c, which is our right hand side. So in this way, this formula has been also proved, and it is quite simple and applicable in lot of the questions. Moving ahead, the third and the final theorem of this exercise, it is if integration of small fx is equal to capital Fx plus c, and on left hand side x is replaced by ax plus b, in that case its integration will be on the same line. If integration of small f is capital F, still the integration of small f will be capital F. And here it is ax plus b, so it will remain ax plus b only. But only thing is you will have to divide by coefficient of x, which is a plus c. Right? How it is applicable? You know many formula on integration. You know integration of 1 by x is log x plus c. So what will be integration of 1 upon 3x plus 5? Just like integration of 1 by x is log x plus c, so integration of 1 upon 3x plus 5 should be log of 3x plus 5. But only thing is you will have to divide by coefficient of x, that is 3. I am taking one more example. I will take one more example afterwards. Let me first prove the theorem. This is our left hand side. I will make the substitution. In proving all the results, I will be making use of substitution. Let ax plus b is equal to t. Differentiate both sides. A is constant. Derivative of x is dx. That of b is 0. No need to write. And that of t is dt. So dx is equal to dt by a. So now this question becomes f ax plus b has been replaced by t, and dx has been replaced by dt by a. 1 by a is constant, you can take it out. So it is integration of ft dt. Right? And you know, integration of small fx. Look here. Integration of small fx is equal to capital plus x plus c. Got it? Integration of small fx is capital Fx plus c. So integration of small ft should be capital Ft plus c. So its answer should be capital Ft upon a is already there plus c. And now feed back the value of t. T was ax plus b. So it becomes f of ax plus b whole upon a is already there plus c, and it is right hand side. So I am taking one example where I will be using this formula. Consider, say, integration of sec square 9 minus 2x dx. So you know integration of sec square x is 10x. So integration of sec square of this much should be 10 of this much. 9 minus 2x. But this is not x, it is 9 minus 2x. So you will have to divide the coefficient of x, that is minus 2 plus c. I think you have got it. So in many questions we will be using this procedure. I am just correcting it. Is it capital Ft upon a plus c. This is capital F only. Okay, moving ahead. Now in questions, we may directly use these formulae or the substitution method through which these formulae have been proved. Either use the procedure through which these formulae have been proved, or you can directly use the formulae also. So now we are able to derive some more important integration with the help of these results. First among them is integration of cot x dx, and it is log sin x plus c. Let's see how to prove it. Here left hand side is integration of cot x dx. Cot x may be modified as cos x by sin x. Now you see it is just like f dash x upon fx. In denominator we have a function, that is sin x, and in numerator we have its derivative, which is cos x. So just like f dash x upon fx. So its integration should be log of denominator, that is log of sin x plus c. So here I have used theorem number 2. What happens sometimes when I ask a student what is integration of cot x? Sometimes they don't know the formula and they say, sir, it is minus cos x square x. That is wrong. Actually, integration of cot x is not minus cos x square x dx. What is the relation between them is that derivative of cot x dx, derivative of cot x is minus cos x square x dx. Right? Integration of cot x is not minus cos x square x dx. I am writing it also. It is right to say that derivative of cot x is minus cos x square x. So we may say that integration of minus cos x square x dx is cot x. But it is wrong to say that integration of cot x dx is minus cos x square x. This statement is wrong. Minus cos x square x dx is derivative of cot x. So all these points should be kept in mind. So we can prove it alternatively also using substitution. Again, considering left hand side, cot x means cos x by sin x. Let sin x is equal to t. We will assume always the function as t. So cos x dx is dt. If you differentiate it, you will get cos x dx is dt. Feed it here. Cos x dx is dt upon sin x is t, and integration of 1 by t dt is log t plus c, and I have fed back the value of t, which is sin x. So answer becomes log of sin x plus c. So you saw that either we can use the formula directly, or we can use the substitution method also, through which the formula has been derived. Moving to next formula, integration of tan x dx. Its answer is minus log cos x plus c or log sec x plus c. For proving this formula also, we will be using theorem number 2. So left hand side is integration of tan x dx. Tan x means sin x by cos x. But derivative of cos x is minus sin x, and minus sin x is not present in numerator, it is plus sin x. So we will create a minus sign. I will put double minus, one minus outside, one minus inside. It makes no difference. Minus into minus is plus only. So now you can see that inside the integral sign, we have something like f dash x upon fx. In denominator we have function cos x, in numerator we have its derivative minus sin x. And integration of f dash x upon fx is log of fx. So answer becomes minus log of cos x plus c. Now this minus log of cos x, you see I have obtained the first answer. Now I will try to get the second answer. Minus log cos x may be rewritten as minus 1 times log m, log cos x. So it is just like n times log m. And you know, and you have done in differentiation, n times log m is equal to log of m raised to the power n. So minus 1 times log cos x is log of cos x whole power minus 1. And cos x whole power minus 1 means 1 by cos x. And 1 by cos x means sec x. So this is the second answer. This also we have obtained. Moving to next formula. Integration of sec x dx. It is log of sec x plus tan x plus c. And there is one more formula. Log of tan of pi by 4 plus x by 2 plus c. Here also I will be making use of theorem number 2. See how to do it. It is integration of sec x dx. Sec x may be written as 1 by cos x, but you don't get the shape f dash x upon fx. So we will have to do certain modifications to bring it to the form of f dash x upon fx. For this, I will multiply numerator and denominator both by sec x plus tan x. And now verify that denominator is function and numerator is derivative. Let's see. Assume sec x plus tan x to be t. Differentiate both sides. Derivative of sec x is sec x tan x into dx, that I have written outside. And derivative of tan x is sec square x dx. Is equal to derivative of t is dt. Now from left hand side you can take sec x common. What is left hand side? Tan x plus 1 power of sec x. Look, carefully. Whole into dx is already there, is equal to dt. You may observe it carefully, calmly, all the calculations. So you see, this whole thing is dt, and it is written here also. So now it becomes integration of this whole thing is dt, and the denominator we have t. This is t. So it becomes integration of dt by t. And you know integration of 1 by x dx is log x. So integration of 1 by t dt will be log t plus c. Feed back the value of t. So it becomes log of sec x plus tan x plus c. In this way, I have derived one formula for integration of sec x dx. There is one more formula which is log of tan of pi by 4 plus x by 2. That can be developed from this formula only. Actually, integration is over. We will do some trigonometric transformations and it will take the second shape. So look here how to transform it. Sec x means 1 by cos x, tan x means sin x by cos x, and then we can take cos x as LCM. So it becomes 1 plus sin x whole upon cos x. Now this 1 means cos square theta plus sin square theta. The 1 can be replaced by cos square x by 2 plus sin square x by 2 plus sine of any angle is 2 times sine of half the angle, cos of half the angle. This you have done in class 11 in the form of sine 2a is equal to 2 sine a cos a. That is, the angle on left is halved on right. So if the original quantity is 2a, final quantity becomes a. But in case original is a, final will become a by 2. So sin x is 2 times sin x by 2 cos x by 2. And I hope you must have used it several times in class 11. Similarly, in denominator cos x, here I will be using the formula cos 2a is equal to cos square a minus sin square a. You can say this is not 2a. 2a is just for representation. This actually angle is halved. 2a becomes a. So if the original quantity is a, final will become a by 2. Angle is to be halved. If original is 4a, final will become 2a. If on the left hand side angle is 1000a, on right hand side it will become 500a. So cos x means cos square half the angle minus sin square half the angle. Hope you might have got it. So now in the numerator we have something like a square plus b square plus 2ab. So it will take the shape a plus b whole square. In denominator we have a square minus b square like thing, something square minus something square. So a square minus b square, its factors are a plus b into a minus b. So its factors will be cos of x by 2 plus sin of x by 2 into cos of x by 2 minus sin x by 2. So 1 power of cos x by 2 plus sin x by 2 is cancelled. So what is left? Cos of x by 2 plus sin of x by 2 upon cos of x by 2 minus sin x by 2. Now we will convert it into tangent form. So divide numerator and denominator by cos x by 2. You can always divide any fraction, numerator and denominator, by same quantity. It makes no difference. So you see cos x by 2 upon cos x by 2 is 1. Sin x by 2 upon cos x by 2 is tan x by 2. Cos x by 2 upon cos x by 2 is 1. And sin x by 2 upon cos x by 2 is tan x by 2. Let's move ahead. 1 is value of 10 pi by 4. So this 1 can be written as 10 pi by 4 plus tan x by 2 is already there upon 1 minus this is tan x by 2 into I have written 10 pi by 4 at my own. Because value of 10 pi by 4 is 1 and 1 into tan x by 2 is same as tan x by 2. So now it has taken the shape tan a plus tan b upon 1 minus tan a tan b. And you know from your class 11 trigonometry that tan a plus tan b upon 1 minus tan a tan b is tan of a plus b. So this is the second answer for integration of sec x dx. So you can see it again. Integration of sec x dx, this is the formula, is log of sec x plus tan x plus c or log of tan of pi by 4 plus x by 2 plus c. You must remember both the formulae. In different situations, we will be using different outcomes. It depends on what answer is expected from us. In multiple choice questions, sometimes answer may be in this form or answer may be in this form. So you should know both the formulae. Moving ahead. Similar to integration of sec x, we have integration of cosec x also. It will also be proved on similar lines. Integration of sec x had got two formulae, and integration of cosec x dx has got three formulae. First is minus log of cosec x plus cot x plus c. Second is log of cosec x minus cot x plus c. And third is log of tan x by 2 plus c. Let's prove them. Basically, this is the result from integration. Rest two are its trigonometric transformations. So if you are able to derive first formula, rest two can be obtained by trigonometric transformations. So this is my left hand side integration of cosec x. Let's start it with full courage. In case of sec x, we multiplied numerator and denominator by sec x plus tan x. In this case, we will be multiplying and dividing by cosec x plus cot x, both numerator and denominator. So we arrive at this result. Now assume cosec x plus cot x is equal to t. We are doing in the similar manner as we did in case of sec x. There I assumed sec x plus tan x to be t. So there is a similarity. Let's differentiate it. Derivative of cosec x is minus cosec x cot x, and that of cot x is minus cosec square x dx, and that of t is dt. So from here you can take minus cosec x common. So what is left inside? From first term cot x, since I have taken negative sign common, this minus will become plus. From two powers of cosec x, I have taken one power common, so one power is left inside. Dx is equal to dt. Now multiplied both sides by minus 1. So this minus will become plus and dt will become minus dt. Sometimes we say that we have transferred this minus from left to right, but and the same thing. Basically, we have multiplied both sides or divided both sides by minus 1. So the sign, negative sign on left disappears and it appears on right hand side. So we will do this substitution here. This cosec x into cosec x plus cot x dx will be replaced by minus dt. Upon this cosec x plus cot x will be replaced by t as per substitution. So it becomes integration of minus dt by t. Minus is constant, you can take it out, and integration of 1 by t dt is log t plus c. Feed back the value of t. T is cosec x plus cot x. Right? So this is the first answer I have obtained. First right hand side. You can call it first right hand side. Let's try for second right hand side. This minus can be treated as minus 1. Now again it is of the shape n time log m. So this will become power. So it becomes log of m raised to its power n. And something whole power minus 1 means 1 upon that thing. So cosec x plus cot x whole power minus 1 means 1 upon cosec x plus cot x. Now we have done in class 10th that cosec square x minus cot square x is 1. So this 1 can be replaced by cosec square x minus cot square x. So I replace this 1 by cosec square x minus cot square x, and in denominator you have cosec x plus cot x. Now numerator may be factorized using the formula a square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b. So cosec square x minus cot square x will be cosec x plus cot x into cosec x minus cot x, and in the denominator we have cosec x plus cot x, and it is cancelled, and we are left with cosec x minus cot x plus c. So in this way I have obtained second RHS. One more formula is awaited. Let's prove that also. Value of cosec x is 1 by sin x, and that of cot x is cos x by sin x. Now take sin x LCM. So numerator becomes 1 minus cos x. And you have done in class 11 that 1 minus cos 2a is equal to 2 sin square a. Here 2a may be any angle. So if in place of this 2a, we have a, suppose I remove this 2, then on right hand side also the angle will be halved, a by 2. That is, if 2a becomes a, 2a on left becomes a on right, then a on left will become a by 2 on right. So 1 minus cos x is twice sin square x by 2. Similarly, see for the denominator, we have done in class 11 that sin 2a is equal to 2 sine A cos A. Now what you have to do, you are to halve the angle on both sides. So left hand side becomes sine of, in place of 2A is equal to 2 times sine A will be changed to A by 2. Cos A will be changed to A by 2. I have halved the angle both sides. Right? So sin x will become 2 sin x by 2 cos x by 2, as sin A is equal to 2 sin A by 2 cos A by 2. Now 2 is cancelled. 1 power of sin x by 2 is also cancelled. So now it is sin x by 2 upon cos x by 2, which is 10x by 2. So the final answer is log of 10x by 2 plus c. This is the third right hand side. So in this way you have studied all the three formulae for integration of cosec x dx. So all of you are advised to learn all the three formulae. Any formula can be used depending upon the situation. Now we are coming to exercise 7.2 of NCERT book. This is first question. I is equal to integration of 2x upon 1 plus x square dx. So if you think about the three theorems we have done, you will come to know that it is quite comparable to theorem number 2, where we have function in denominator and derivative in numerator. So the same situation is applicable here. In denominator we have 1 plus x square, and in numerator we have its derivative. Derivative of 1 is 0 and that of x square is 2x dx. So it is just like integration of f dash x upon fx dx. So answer should be log of fx, that is log of denominator plus c. So here the answer should be log of denominator, that is log of 1 plus x square plus c. But if you want to use the alternate method, that is substitution method, through which this theorem was proved, you can do that also. That is direct method. So alternatively, assume the function to be t. Definitely you will have to recognize where is the function and where is its derivative. So 1 plus x square is the function, 2x is the derivative. So you will assume the function to be t. Differentiate it. Derivative of 1 is 0, that of x square is 2x dx, and derivative of t is dt. So this 2x dx is dt upon 1 plus x square is t. And it is just like integration of 1 by t dt, that is log t plus c. And here feed back the value of t is 1 plus x square, so it is log of 1 plus x square plus c. So whether you use the formula directly or use the substitution method, you will get the same answer. But formula makes our tasks similar, simpler and shorter. This is wrong part, written by mistake. This has been also done. So moving to question number 4. Look here. Integration of sin x into sin of cos x dx. So recognize the function and derivative here. Look carefully. We can take this cos x as function. Although its derivative is minus sin x, and we don't have minus sin x, we have just sin x. So that is not a big problem. Minus can be adjusted. Look here how to do it. Let cos x is equal to t. Differentiate both sides. Derivative of cos x is minus sin x dx, and that of t is dt. Multiply both sides by minus sign, so it will become sin x dx is equal to minus dt. Some people say I have transferred minus to right hand side. Basically we have multiplied both sides by minus 1, or you can say we have divided both sides by minus 1. So this minus will be transferred from left to right. So look here, I am starting from here. Sine of cos x. Cos x is t, so it is sin t. Into sin x dx is minus dt. This minus can be taken out. Integration of sin t dt. And you know very well that integration of sin x dx is minus cos x plus c. So integration of sin t dt will be minus cos t plus c. Minus into minus is plus, cos, and t was cos x. So cos of cos x plus c. So I think you have got it. Moving to one more example. Integration of sine of ax plus b into cos of ax plus b dx. So where is the function? Where is the derivative? Here we can assume any one of the two to be function, because derivative of sine is in terms of cos and derivative of cos is in terms of sine. Of course, derivative of cos is minus sine, but minus sign can be adjusted. But if you don't want to adjust the minus sign, then it is easier to take sine of ax plus bst. This is more direct way. So let sine of ax plus b is equal to t. Differentiate it. Derivative of sine x is cos x. So derivative of sine of ax plus b will be cos of ax plus b into derivative of ax plus b is a dx is equal to dt. Derivative of ax plus b is a is constant, derivative of x is dx, and that of plus b is 0. Now transfer this a from left to right. So you will have cos of ax plus b dx equal to dt upon a. Right? So now it becomes, we have assumed sine of ax plus b to be t, and value of cos of ax plus b dx comes out to be dt by a. 1 by a is constant, you can take it out. So now it is integration of t dt. So it's equal to 1 by a, and integration of t raised power 1. It's just like t raised power 1, just like x raised power n, x raised power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So it should be t raised power 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1, which is 2, plus c is equal to 1 by 2a t square. T square, who is t? Sine of ax plus b. So sine of ax plus b whole square. I am just writing it again, a little bit congested it has become. I am writing it here. 1 by 2a t is sine of ax plus b square plus c. So I think it's quite clear now. So you saw that sine of ax plus b is almost a function, and its derivative may be in the form of cos of ax plus b. It is not the exact derivative, but it can be adjusted. So you have seen the adjustments also through substitution. So you may go through it once again for more clarity. Moving to next question. I am just deleting previous written part. So more space will be created. So look here. Here we have square root of ax plus b dx. So derivative of ax plus b will be a dx, that of b0. We don't have a dx, we have dx. So a can be created by multiplying and dividing by a. So let's see how to do it. Let ax plus b is equal to t. So differentiate both sides. A is constant, derivative of x is dx, that of b is 0, and that of t is dt. So dx is equal to dt by a. So fit it here. So it becomes root ax plus b is t, and dx is dt by a. One by a is constant, taken out. Integration of root t means t raised power half dt. So 1 by a, integration of t raised power half will be t raised power half plus 1, which is 3 by 2, upon half plus 1, which is 3 by 2, plus c. Now the lower fraction will be inverted. So 1 by a into 2 by 3, that is 2 upon 3. And let's feed back the value of t. T was ax plus b whole power 3 by 2 plus c. So in this way we have obtained its answer by substitution method. You can revisit it once again. Now number of times you revisit it, your learning will be more sharp and permanent. I assumed ax plus b to be t, differentiated it, got the value of dx. Ax plus b is t, so it becomes root t into dt by a. By a is constant taken out, and then I have applied integration of x raised to power n dx formula. So I request all of you to go through it carefully, solve it in your notebook. There is one more way, that is using theorem. How to use theorem here? Look for that method also. Look here. We can write it as square root means ax plus b whole power half. Square root is equivalent to half power. Now it is comparable with x raised to power n. Only thing is x has been replaced by another linear expression. So third theorem can be used. That if integration of small fx is capital Fx plus c, then integration of f of ax plus b will be capital F of ax plus b upon a. So look here, integration of x raised to power half is x raised to power half plus 1 upon half plus 1. So integration of ax plus b whole power half should be ax plus b whole power half plus 1, that is 3 by 2, upon half plus 1, that is 3 by 2. But it is not x, it is ax plus b. So we will divide by coefficient of x plus c. So in this way I have used third theorem. Now something upon 3a by 2, so lower fraction will be inverted, 2 by 3a into ax plus b whole power 3 by 2 plus c. So you may just recall that the same answer was obtained by previous method also. Moving to next question. Recognize here also the function and its derivative. If you notice here, we are not able to easily observe the function and derivative. But if you notice minutely, you will be able to see that derivative of x is dx, simply dx. So better assume x to be t, dx will be dt. But it is better to assume x plus 2 as t. Taking x as t will not serve the purpose. It will remain almost the same, only variable will be changed. There is no use of assuming x to be t. The problem is this binomial. So I want to reduce this binomial to monomial. For that we may take x plus 2 be t. Now differentiate both sides. Derivative of x is dx, that of 2 is 0 and that of t is dt. So now it becomes integration of x plus 2 is t, so x will be t minus 2. Square root of x plus 2 is t, dx is dt. Now it is quite simple. Integration of t into root t will be t raised power 3 by 2 minus 2 into root t, 2 times t raised power half into dt. And it can be easily solved by you. T raised power 3 by 2, its integration will be t raised power 3 by 2 plus 1, and 3 by 2 plus 1 is 5 by 2, upon 5 by 2 means into 2 by 5, minus 2 into t raised power half, its integration will be t raised power half plus 1, half plus 1 is 3 by 2, and whole upon 3 by 2 means into 2 by 3 plus c. And in the next step you can feed back the value of t. 2 by 5, t was, I think it was ax plus b, look for again, sorry, t was x plus 2. So it is x plus 2 raised to its power 5 by 2 minus 4 by 3, t is x plus 2, that's all, plus c. So we assumed x plus 2 be t in this case, and this has reduced this binomial to monomial, and integration becomes simpler. Can we do it without using substitution also? Yes, of course we can do it. See how to do it without using substitution. Look here. It can be modified as x may be rewritten as x plus 2 minus 2 into square root of x plus 2 is there dx. So I have added 2 and subtracted 2. Now we can multiply to some extent. X plus 2 into root x plus 2. It will be x plus 2 whole power half plus 1, that is 3 by 2. Here we have x plus 2 whole power 1 into x plus 2 whole power half. It will become x plus 2 whole power 3 by 2 minus 2 times square root of x plus 2. So 2 times square root means half power x plus 2 whole power half dx. So now you can use the formula integration of x raised power n. Only thing is, in place of x we are having another linear expression. Then we will have to divide by coefficient of x. But by chance coefficient of x is 1, it means we don't have to divide by any meaningful quantity. So it becomes x plus 2 raised to its power 3 by 2 plus 1, that is 5 by 2. Whole upon 5 by 2 means into 2 by 5 minus 2 into x plus 2 whole power half. Its integration will be x plus 2 whole power half plus 1. That is x plus 2 whole power half plus 1 means 3 by 2. Upon 3 by 2 means into 2 by 3 plus c. So we have obtained the same answer. You may say that, sir, it is not x, it is x plus 2. Okay, then divide by coefficient of x, which is 1 only, and it will make no difference. So I think this alternate method is also clear to you. Moving forward. By now we have done sufficient practice. So think about it. What is function and what is derivative? Basically, derivative of x square is 2x. So 2 can be created here also by multiplying and divide by 2. But if you take 1 plus 2x square whole thing as t, it will make the task much simpler. Instead of taking x square as t, better take 1 plus 2x square, the whole quantity under square root as t. In most of the questions we will be doing in this manner only. We will try to take the maximum biggest quantity as t. So let 1 plus 2x square is equal to t. Differentiate it. Derivative of 1 is 0 and that of 2x square will be 2 is constant and derivative of x square is 2x. So 2 into 2x is 4x dx. Is equal to derivative of t is dt. Got it? Derivative of 1 is 0, 2 is constant, derivative of x square is 2x, so 2 into 2x is 4x dx. Is equal to derivative of t is dt. So x dx is equal to dt by 4. Let us feed it here. I am starting from here. Root t. And x dx is dt by 4. So by 4 is constant, keep it out. And integration of t raised power half will be t raised power half plus 1, that is 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 plus c. You can do some cancellations. 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4. So it is t raised power 3 by 2 upon 6 plus c. And value of t is 1 plus 2x square. So it will become 1 plus 2x square whole power 3 by 2 and whole upon 6 plus c. So look here carefully. So you can, if you know what is to be assumed as t or any other third variable, then your work is almost half done. If you somehow conclude that 1 plus 2x square is to be assumed as t and its derivative will be in terms of x. So always remember 1 plus 2x square is quadratic and x is linear, and derivative of quadratic is always linear. So better assume the quadratic as t and rest you can easily understand. Same case here. This is, I will have to correct it some, wrongly written. integration of 4x plus 2 into it is square root of x square plus x plus dx. So x square plus x plus 1 is quadratic and this is linear. So let's see what is the derivative of quadratic. Derivative of x square is 2x but it is 4x. Derivative of x is 1 but it is 2. That is, it is almost double of its derivative. So that can be easily simplified. Take 2 common. So 2 into 2x plus 1 into square root of x square plus x plus 1 dx. Now it's 100% same derivative is present here. So there are two options before you now. Either assume x square plus x plus 1 to be t, or use theorem number 1, integration of fx whole power n into f dash x dx. So this is function raised power half into its derivative. So its integration will be function raised power n plus 1, that is x square plus x plus 1 whole power half plus 1, which is 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 plus c. So instead of using theorem that you can try yourself, I am using substitution method. So let x square plus x plus 1 is equal to t. So if you differentiate it, it will become 2x plus 1 dx is equal to dt. So now the question takes the shape 2 into root t into 2x plus 1 dx is dt. So 2 is constant. Integration of root t will be t raised to power half plus 1, that is 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 plus c. This 2 is cancelled and then you can feed the value of t. T was x square plus x plus 1. So it becomes x square plus x plus 1 whole power 3 by 2 upon 3 is left plus c is there. So very easily done. Just as think, if there is a quadratic and a linear in a question, quadratic may be assumed as t and try to get that linear as its derivative. We may have to do some adjustments sometimes. Moving to next question. 1 upon x minus root x dx. You see here, let root x is equal to t. What I will do, I am taking root x common. So it becomes root x minus 1 dx. From x, if you take root x common, root x is left. From root x, I am taking root x common, so 1 is left. So better take the biggest quantity as t. So I should take, that will be better. Although I can do with root x taking as t also, but it is better to take root x minus 1 as t. So differentiate it. As you know very well, the derivative of root x is 1 by 2 root x dx. That of minus 1 is 0 and that of t is dt. Now transfer this 2 to right hand side. So 1 by root x dx is equal to 2 dt. So now it becomes 1 upon root x minus 1 is t and dx upon root x is 2 dt. 2 is constant, take out, and integration of 1 by t will be log t plus c. And then t can be replaced by its value also, which is root x minus 1, that you can do yourself very easily. So it will become 2 times log of root x minus 1 plus c, answer. Taking one more example, integration of x upon square root of x plus 4 dx. Here also you will have to recognize function and derivative. Only, you see, whenever a square root quantity is present in a question, normally we take base of square root as t, or the whole square root quantity also as t. That will also do. So here we can see that x plus 4 is function and dx is its derivative. So we will be assuming let x plus 4 is equal to t. Differentiate it. So derivative of x is dx, that of plus 4 is 0 and that of t is dt. So let's feed it here. X plus 4 is t, so simply x will be t minus 4 upon root x plus 4 is root t and dx is dt. Got it? Since x plus 4 was t, it means x is t minus 4 upon square root of x plus 4 is t, and this dx is dt. Let's separate it into two parts. T upon root t is root t, minus 4 upon root t is 4 times t raised power minus half dt. And after this you can integrate it quite easily. T raised power half, its integration will be t raised power half plus 1, that is 3 by 2, upon 3 by 2 means into 2 by 3, minus 4 into t raised power half, its integration will be t raised power half plus 1, that is 3 by 2, and whole upon 3 by 2 means into 2 by 3. Rest of the simplifications you can do yourself. Now only the value of t is to be fed. What is t? X plus 4, and afterwards you can take some common also if wish. Taking one more question here. You see here. Try to recognize the function and its derivative. If you notice it minutely, you can see that it can be written as x cube minus 1 whole power 1 by 3 into x raised power 5 means x cube into x square. How to know that x raised to 5 is to be factorized? You see, it comes by practice. Because it was quite obvious that fractional power is of x cube minus 1. So we will always be thinking to take x cube minus 1 as t. But its derivative is in terms of x square. And x square is not present. So that we can create from here by factorizing it. Now, take the base of the irrational expression as t. X cube minus 1 as t. Differentiate it. So 3x square dx, that of minus 1 is 0, is equal to dt. So x square dx is equal to dt by 3. So now becomes x cube minus 1 is t, so t raised power 1 by 3 into x cube will be, you can develop x cube from here, it will be t plus 1, and x square dx is dt by 3. So now the task has become quite simple. You can try it yourself also. Let's multiply them. 1 by 3 is constant, take it out. T raised power 1 by 3 into t raised power 1. It will be t raised power 1 by 3 plus 1, that is 4 by 3. Plus t raised power 1 by 3 into 1. It is t raised power 1 by 3 only dt. And then you can use the formula integration of x raised power n dx is x raised power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. 1 by 3 is out, it will stay out only. And integration of t raised power 4 by 3 is t raised power 4 by 3 plus 1, that is 7 by 3, upon 7 by 3 means into 3 by 7, plus integration of t raised power 1 by 3 will be t raised power 1 by 3 plus 1, which is 4 by 3, upon 4 by 3 means into 3 by 4 plus c. And after this, you can replace t by its value, which is x cube minus 1. There is a space, I can do it. 1 by 3 is already out. 3 you can take common. Inside we are left with 1 by 7 into t raised power 7 by 3. T means x cube minus 1. Raised to power 7 by 3 plus 3 by 4 into t raised to power 4 by 3. T is x cube minus 1 whole power 4 by 3 plus c. I have written this 3 by mistake because it was taken common. So you see it should be 1 by 4 because 3 has been taken common and this outside 3 is cancelled. Afterwards, if you wish, you can take x cube minus 1 whole power 4 by 3 also as common, but that is not necessary. Moving to question number 13th. Derivative of x cube is x square and x cube is present in denominator. So take 2 plus 3x cube as t. Differentiate it. Derivative of 2 is 0. 3x cube will be 9x square dx is equal to dt. So x square dx is dt by 9. So it becomes x square dx is dt by 9. And the denominator we have 2 plus 3x cube, which is t whole power 3 is also there. So it is 1 by 9 integration of t raised power minus 3 dt. 1 by 9 is already out. Integration of t raised power minus 3 will be t raised power minus 3 plus 1, that is minus 2 upon minus 2 plus c. So it becomes 1 upon minus 18, means minus 1 by 18 upon t square plus c. And then you can replace t by its value also, which is 2 plus 3x cube, and can be done very easily by you. Moving ahead. Let's see what is the question. Yeah, it is 1 upon x times log x whole power m dx. So quite obvious, function is log x and 1 by x is derivative. So let log x is equal to t. Differentiate it. So 1 by x dx is equal to dt. So now it becomes 1 upon log x is t, so t raised power m, and 1 by x dx is dt. 1 by x dx is dt. Obvious, log x is t, so it is 1 upon t raised power m, and 1 by x dx is dt. Now you see, 1 upon t raised power m, it means t raised its power minus m dt. And now you can use the formula of integration of x raised power n is x raised power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So is equal to, its integration will be t raised power minus m plus 1 upon minus m plus 1 plus c. And then feed back the value of t. T was log x. So t can be replaced by log x. So it becomes log x whole power minus m plus 1 can be written as 1 minus m upon 1 minus m plus c. So we have done few examples also on substitution. Now you may try exercise 7.2 from NCERT book. There you will find many questions as well as examples also on integration using substitution. For more practice, you may consult Maths Exemplar book also, as well as any other support material provided by your school. So I thank all of you for attending this session on integration using substitution. In my next video, I will be using integration using trigonometric identities. For that, you must know all the trigonometric identities of class 11th very well. Once again, thanks all. If you like this video and you find the content useful, you must like and subscribe to this channel. This channel is specially meant for those children who are not able to attend even their online classes because of lack of smartphone or data. So when this video is available on YouTube, you can use it anytime, whenever you have data, whenever you have smartphone. So thank you very much and wish you happy studies.